Hello folks, welcome back to the C Morning Show right here on C Today. As promised before, we do have some business talk segment for today, and it's such a special episode dedicated to helping you stick to your New Year's resolutions, particularly those related to financial well-being. Now, we all know that setting resolution is that easy, or the easy part, but staying committed is where the challenge lies. So joining us with today, Greget Kalla, Buana, an Islamic finance specialist and also a life and sustainability coach, to talk more about tips for sticking to your New Year's resolution based on Islamic finance principle. Good morning, Greget. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum, Kara.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So yes, before we jump into the wagon, do you yourself have New Year resolution?
Yeah, to me actually, I've been very much into a resolution few years past, but I think currently I changed to the terminology of a reset.
Okay.
So it's not a resolution anymore. So it's about how to evaluate and then you push your targets. So it's being a reset.
Okay.
It's not resolution like annual picking theme of resolution. I want to be this, I want to do this. So it's no more like that.
Right. So good. I also watched one of your contents where it really hits me hard, where you said, sometimes when we're having New Year's resolution, you always have a big target, but you can actually do it from little small steps.
Right.
So how can we, let's say for us that's wanting to reset, we're not late yet because it's still January, but we want to have a resolution or we want to reset ourselves for this new year, but on the Islamic finance view?
Yeah, first of all, I think I would say that it's a little bit late or maybe too late because it's the end of January. I think it's 31st today, right?
Yes.
But my point of view is that it's not about what your resolution is. It's actually why you're making it.
Okay.
Either because you think you evaluate yourself in the past experience and then you want to change something, or either because of people surrounding you is doing it. And it doesn't have to be in the beginning of every new year. It can be like, we know so many New Year's, like Islamic New Year's, the upcoming Chinese New Year's, and then the Hijri, the Gregorian, and so on and so forth. So to me, from my experience, I think what I've been learning is that it's not about the resolution itself, but about the goal that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
For instance, in the context of finance, like financial decluttering, so there is a terminology of financial decluttering where you try to reset your financial mindset and financial attitude. For instance, from Islamic finance perspective, financial freedom is not about how much money that you possess on your hand. It's about to be free from money-oriented perspective.
Yeah.
And in Islam, there is also an Arabic word called falah, which means that we would like to pursue being successful, not only in this world, but also in the hereafter. And that requires a balancing approach between materiality, spirituality, individual, society, and then today and tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So I think the key point is about the reset, and then about the balancing, and you pursue something beyond this worldly life.
Yes.
So I think that's the perspective from Islamic finance.
And then remember, mashallah, we're also coming into the Ramadan month. Not only the general election or the presidential election in March will begin on our Ramadan month itself. So with that saying, now we're also seeing that the Sharia finance is not only adapt to the Muslim community, but also community throughout. Every community is now adapting to it because, again, you were saying the well-being on this life and also for the hereafter. In regards to this, can you share some practical tips on what you just said right now on budgeting and also savings, that it's alignment with Islamic finance?
I really like the saying in Islam that goes rahmatan lil alamin actually. So Islam is a blessing for not only for human but also the nature. And in terms of budgeting and saving, there are a lot of methodology on doing budgeting, such as by giving a percentage on our income, like 50 for a living costs, and then 30 for investment or saving, and 20 for the charity. But also the more detailed one, like 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 for charity, and then also for people who really like to loosen themselves, like 80 and 20, 80 for any kinds of expenses, and 20 maybe for saving. But what I want to say is that in every methodology of budgeting, there is always a portion for saving, including in Islamic practice. There is one of the Prophet ﷺ companions, I think it's Salman al-Farisi, if I'm not mistaken. So he divided his income into three kinds of one-third.
Okay.
One-third for living costs, 1/3 for charity, which is I think it's a big amount of charity, which is good.
Yes.
And 1/3 for doing investment, working capital, and also for saving. So saving is actually encouraged. It's not about collecting your money per se or hoarding your money, but saving basically preparing yourself for the future, for emergency, for instance, right? And in Islam, saving comes with zakat.
Yes.
So anytime for Muslim, his money in the saving account reaching certain amount of thresholds, for instance, reaching equals to 85 of grams of gold, you have to pay zakat 2.5% for your money in your saving account. So I think it reflects the nuance of not only talking about ourselves by having a saving big amount of money in your saving account, but also thinking about others. Maybe the 2.5% from your saving account is actually 100% for people.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's the beauty of Islam, seeing about money, budgeting, and saving.
That's right. And in regards to this, though, Greget, I just want to convey, especially for those who's right now trying to reiterate their life now to more in the Islamic views, or they just want to be more have a valuable life.
Right.
For you were saying that doing zakat or alms, this behavior, sometimes people don't understand what would be the feeling, because you're also a life coach, right? Maybe you can share for some people that is, because it is a hard times right now. We know it's very difficult to live with the geopolitical tension. Some would like to say, I would like to keep like all my savings for myself for the rainy days. But knowing that when you're doing zakat or alms, it's actually doing good or being more valuable for yourself. Maybe you can share also.
Yeah, in Islamic financial planning, I think what distinguishes Islamic finance from conventional is about the charity, the charitable giving that imposed in Islam. Not imposed, it can be also voluntarily, like doing wakaf. But I think the point is that we are not living by ourselves, right? And the way we're earning money is not only by, like you doing something alone, then you get money. You're also trying to get connected with people. And I think zakat is actually positioned human as part of a community. So when you have very much money on your pocket, you have to redistribute it. Like 2.5% is very minimal. I also,
if you think about it, right?
Yes, 2.5%. And it's not only in Islam actually. I also have been learning about alms giving from another religion's perspective, like collecte, dana punya, and so on and so forth. So it happens in every kind of religious and this finance. And I think the concept of redistributing wealth, 2.5%, is impressive because currently we are living in extreme poverty at some regions of the world, and people trying to look for alternative solution of finance resources, right? And zakat can be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. And you would just have that kind of feeling for yourself. And people doesn't have to know if you're going to do zakat or you're doing charity, right? There's a saying that when you're doing charity, just don't let your right hand know. Like you're giving something, your right hand should not know that. Now, in regards to investments now, I think we're in the early years right now. Investment and a specific investment, especially in the Islamic finance. Is there any, tips and guidance coming from you, especially for a newbie?
Yeah, I usually tell my friends or followers on social media there is a practical tips and trick when you do investment. So it's called halal. I think it's quite familiar among financial planners. Halal means halal, legal, and logis. So halal, make sure that any kinds of financial instrument that you want your money to be invested in are Sharia compliant. And it's not about only Muslim.
That's right.
Sharia compliance investment product can be also bought by non-Muslim sisters and brothers. So that's the first one, halal. The second one, I think it's legality or legal. So make sure that the financing product or investment product, as well as the institution, are legal, to operate in a specific country, right? For instance, in Indonesia. So it is registered, supervised by the governing authority, for instance, in this country, I think OJK. And the third one is halal logic. So it's the easiest way to assess whether an investment product is profitable and, makes sense or not. So it's about sense making. For instance, when we talk about return, does it make sense to have such and such amount of return within a certain period of time? So you can use your logic, easy. If you don't know about the financing literacy, because we are processing to go there step by step, so just use your logic. But at first, for me as a Muslim, I would say that the most important one is Sharia compliant. It's supposed to be Sharia compliant.
But sometimes it's very sexy when people said, oh, there's just certain investments that you don't have to put a lot of money in, but you will regain a lot. And it can kind of to change that kind of perspective is
It's a paradigm shift, you know. If you talk about the money attitude, yeah, as we discussed earlier, like
Yes.
money attitude, money mindset. So I think gaining a lot of money is not about uh, the amounts, yeah, but what you can do with your money. If you gain a lot of money from investment, you have a lot of, you know, investment products, but you yourself feels like being trapped in a jail, like thinking
Yes.
about money all the time. I don't think you are financially free. You didn't on, you know, you are not on the step or phase of getting financial freedom because you are money oriented.
Okay.
So this paradigm shift also imposed in Islamic finance. You put your money on your hand,
Yes.
not on your head,
Yeah.
right? So you are full control of your money, not the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do get that, you know, kind of vice versa around.
Yeah.
Now, you know, and speaking about investments, we're also going to talk about something in reverse, and that is debt, right? And this
Yeah.
is upcoming year. Sometimes we have debt from, you know, the recent years that we want to be debt-free, you know,
Yeah.
financially debt-free for this year.
Yeah.
So how can we navigate that through the Islamic finance perspective?
But I think it's lucky for people who already applied Islamic finance principles because we are riba free. If I may say, you know, riba is interest, it is forbidden in Islam. But talking about that, I think it's more on the self-control. For instance, when you want to buy something and you don't have money, so don't pay it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Yeah.
But if you have money, pay in cash, always. If you have money, pay in cash, it is mandatory. And if you think that you don't have really financial ability to afford these things, so wait until you can save, and then you pay it later. Or
Right.
if you really need it, it is an emergency, I think you can try to look for alternatives, which is cheaper, but still, you know, meet your, or fulfill your needs. So I think it's about living below your means. So it's a self-control and
Love
having
that.
like a moderate spending plan perhaps, and don't forget to be grateful, be content for everything that God has given you in this life.
Yes.
So it's about having financial contentment for me.
Yeah.
That is about that.
Now, in regards to this, though, I mean, we already put our mind to it that we want to reset financially. We want to have a well-being life. But there are some challenges sometimes. And then usually in the first quarter of the year, you're really set on it.
Yeah.
And then coming to the second quarter, then you're kind of like loose and whatnot.
Yeah.
So how can we still be committed to our resolution or our resetting to our lives?
I think it's fine. I always said that enjoy the moment and trust the process, right? And finance is basically like an art. It's personal. You cannot use one fits for all methodology for financing.
That's
Maybe
right.
50, 20, 30 for you is the best, but for me,
Yes.
I think I would like to save my money 80% from my income. That's also correct.
Yeah.
Because finance is personal. And coming back to your question, I believe that the concept of qana'ah in Islam,
Yeah.
qana'ah means being satisfied, being happy, being grateful for
Content.
everything. Content,
Yes.
yeah. I think that's also drive us to be someone who thinks not only about today, but it's also about our future. So in Islam, there is one Quranic verse that I really like it. I think it's Al-Qasas 77, but let's take it. You know, it's sensitive, like Al-Quran, Al-Qasas 77, saying that seek the reward of the hereafter by the means that Allah has given you, but do not forget your share in this world.
Yes.
So in bahasa Indonesia means like, kejarlah akhirat, tapi jangan lupakan bagianmu di dunia. Which is, I think it's the concept of self-love from God, right?
Yes.
Self-protection, self-love, and how we manage our money. Don't be slave in your little life, like you keep your money in your saving account very much, and then
Yes.
you like very stinky.
Yes. Definitely, we're not going to bring that in the afterlife, definitely, for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Now, Greget, okay, this one is coming from a personal question from
Right.
me in regards to, you know, well-being and whatnot. For those who, inshallah, right now is trying to kind of convert themselves to Islamic finance principle, it is quite hard from the conventional, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
It's still quite hard for me also. How can we take that step forward and be committed to that also? I mean, if you have any small steps into the bigger steps.
Yeah, I think going back to my principle that everything is going gradually. Like I've been learning Islamic finance since 2009, so it's been 15
wow.
years
Okay.
dealing with Islamic finance, and I can see that there are a lot of, you know, different in understanding. But the most important is that you are brave enough to take the small step at first.
Right.
If you know that I have to be in a Sharia compliant saving account, then do it.
Yes.
Then do it. If somebody tells you that, oh, you have to also put your money in Sharia finance or Sharia compliant investment product, then do it. So do what you know. Like I think Warren Buffett also mentioned this. Invest in what you know. So if you know small thing, then do it. As long as it is Islamic, Sharia compliant, then do it.
Yes.
No matter what happens surrounding you, keep learning, keep learning. If you already know about zakat, then pay your zakat 2.5% of your income,
That's
and then
right.
go on. So it's a gradual process, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy the process. All right, so before we end our talk show, our business talks today, one more. I saw on your social media, which has a lot of following, mashallah.
Thank you so much.
One of it is what you touch upon, money attitude. Just elaborate that just a little bit for us.
Okay, there are two actually. It's not only money attitude, but money mindset.
Okay.
So if you look into like this kind of picture, this is money mindset, this
Yes.
is money attitude.
Okay.
So money mindset means that the way you think about money, it's financial literacy. And then you transfer or transform this mindset into reality through lifestyle, which is money attitude.
Okay.
I'm talking with your friends like out there about the boycott that currently happening around the world. Boycott is actually money attitude, right? We do and we buy something that beneficial and have the alignment with our values. So I think this money attitude should be taught in school because people now talking about it, and currently we are living in the world that attitude I think is something that quite separated or meaningless in our society. So I think
Which we need to elevate.
Yeah. I think money attitude and money mindset can be in the next episode of,
Oh, why not? All right, so right now, Greget is just having us on a hook. So hopefully next time we're gonna meet you again here.
Inshallah. Thank you so
Inshallah,
much.
we're
Very
gonna
happy
see more
for
about money
having
attitude,
me.
money mindset, and more, talking about finances and also your well life being Greget Kalla. Buana. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much.
It is such a pleasure, insightful, and mashallah. Hopefully we're gonna see you again very soon right here on
Inshallah.
our show. And right now, folks, let's take another short break. And after the break, we'll have updates from around the world. Don't go anywhere.